Oh, thanks for joining me for another review. Today I've got a pretty special beer from the Tree House Brewing Company, and this is their Abstraction. It's an Imperial Porter then, coming in at 8.8% ABV. Look at that artwork. Pretty cool. This beer has been in the can almost a year. It was canned on the 20th of May of 2019. I'm reviewing this now on the 10th of May of 2020. So not quite a year, but yeah, 10 days short of that. But yeah, I've had this beer for quite a while. It was going to be for a like a bottle share, can share type thing, and with the way things are, with the old coronavirus and stuff, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna drink it. I won this actually on my good friend Harry over at Blue Nose Beer Reviews. He done a Instagram competition, and not many people entered, and I entered, and fortunately I won. So yeah, it's been sitting just behind me here for ages. So Abstraction is an Imperial Porter brewed with an array of chocolate and caramel and roasted malts. Its flavour is complex and a function of the complex and carefully selected ingredients and precise brewing application. It tastes. Well, I'm not going to go into the tasting notes, so we'll stop right there. So this can is an Imperial Porter then at 1 pint American fluid ounces, I guess. So we'll crack into it then. So yeah, these guys are out of Massachusetts in the northeast of the United States. It's cracked now, that's it. So it's a used glass that I've had water in before, so there we go. Slightly hazed glass. So it's still a nice carbonation on the beer. Almost a year in. So it's pouring out, there's a slight brown tinge to the pour. We'll leave it at that. Got quite a hiss on that. Hear that? One thing, almost like cola kind of head, the way it's gone down, and the you know, the crackle that it's making. Into the light then. It's jet black. There is some ruby hues at the top of the glass, but apart from that, it's a jet black beer. Jet black beer, guys. So let's give it a swirl and a sniff. Yeah, what does it say again? Let's have a look. I'm getting a very faint fudge caramel esqueness. Slightly sweet. Yeah, a brownie kind of aroma. Haagen-Dazs brownie, ice cream, that kind of thing. Nothing boozy for an 8.8% beer. No booze, you know, a hint of that at all. Let's go straight in. Cheers. So a style of beer that Tree House are not kind of renowned for, which really intrigues me before I even crack the can. Let's go for another taste. It's quite rich. You're not getting the alcohol on the taste or the flavour or anything else. Where you are getting the alcohol is after that, in the kind of pit of your stomach. There is a little bit of, not burn, but it's saying, hey, just reminding you, you know, I'm here. That kind of deal. There's a chocolate fudge brownie element to the beer. Bit of carbonation there. It's not one of them roasty, toasty porters or Imperial porters for sure. Body wise, I'd say it's the upper end of a medium. It's not crazy thick or anything like that. It's still surprisingly a bit thin for the ABV, but I think overall, generally, if you didn't know the ABV, it's the upper end of a medium body. So easy drinking though. Very creamy, very smooth. Put the rest of this in then. Hopefully it'll generate a little bit. Not really, look at that. I mean, it's an 8.8% beer. I was expecting a little bit more in regards of a head on this, but whatever. In terms of how this beer is generally feeling, the carbonation released from the beer really quickly, and now to the point where it's quite. When there is carbonation, there is some small bubbles around the side of the head. Just see that there. But the overall feel of the beer is quite a low carbonation. To the point on the palate where there is a little bit of fizz, but just not enough. I want a bit more. And the more I'm drinking it, the more I'm realising I want a bit more body as well of the beer. Maybe it's been just left too long. It's almost a year in the can. Still very, very good. Very nice, that chocolatey, browny kind of tones to the beer. Little bit of roasted malt, but very minimal. It's not one of them beers. It's more of a. I mean, it's more of a kind of a pastry porter, if that makes sense. It's got that kind of feel to the beer. It's a little bit creamy. It's very smooth. I mentioned earlier on it was the upper end of a medium body. I'm going to actually draw that back a little bit now that the air to the beer is, you know, and it's calmed down a bit. I'd say it's a straight on medium beer. It's actually changed from when I first tasted and cracked open the beer from now, which is always happens even after you review the beer, and then 5-10 minutes after you've reviewed the beer, it's kind of changed again. So, but no, overall a very nice tasty beer. Not a style of beer that Tree House Brewing Company are renowned for. They're more for the absolute juice bombs, you know, in the realms of them, Tree House, other half, you know, that kind of calibre of beer, maybe foam, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to actually try another beer from these guys. I know how hard they are to get hold of in the States, you know, on their own. And there's a few people that trade for them here in the UK. Pre-COVID, I don't know what's going on after this pandemic and stuff. I don't know how that's affected stuff. I mean, we're talking like 2.5-3 weeks for postage in here in the UK domestically. So I can only imagine people doing things from the States to the UK at the moment. Oh, excuse me. So, but yeah, we'll wrap this up now. So here's the information if you want to read the whole shebang below. I'll let you pause it. A very good beer. Maybe it's fallen off a little bit. I'd like to have tried this fresh. I didn't envisage I'd have this beer for a long time. I thought, yeah, just get it out of the way, give it a review and see what we get. And it's okay. I'm not going to be falling in line with people what they've rated on Untapped. Partly my fault. I had the beer too long. So on and so forth. As this beer is now 10 days short of a year in the can, I'm going to give this beer a 7 out of 10. I think this beer is just potentially certain flavours may have fallen off a little bit. I'm just doing it on my palate, of course, and this can here. There could be another can out there at the same age you open up and it could be amazing. It's the way it goes sometimes. But yeah, a 7 out of 10, so it's a 3.5 on the Untapped scale for a Tree House beer. Over to Untapped then, it's had 8,451 total check-ins then, and unbelievably it's had 58 ratings in the last 30 days. Total rate, or 58 check-ins, shall I say, not ratings. 6,903 actual ratings then, and it's coming in at 4.13. I'm actually going to scroll down now because obviously a few people have had this recently, just for shits and giggles while we're here. So someone actually checked this in. Was it a can? Don't know. Someone checked in 30 minutes ago and gave it a 8.5 out of 10, so 4.25. An hour ago someone had a can of this and they gave it a 3.75, so it's a 7.5. So that makes me feel a little bit better, although it doesn't look like the same can. It really doesn't. So it's probably a different batch. I don't know if they've done a. Looks like they've done a rebatch of this recently, so can't really compare. Yeah, the can. Oh, there's a more recent looking type can, but they haven't given a. Come on. Yeah, there's a lighter shade to the new edition. Yeah, Abstraction Coffee is the new can, and this is just Abstraction. So I'm actually going to label this beer when I actually come to put it up on Untapped. This is the 2019 version, because this is a very kind of bright looking can. I know I'm waffling on. I was just curious. I thought I'd do it in the review as well. So anyway, I'm going to stop now. Let me know if you had this one before, last year if you're in the States, or this year's version, which this is definitely not this year's version 2020, this is definitely last year. It's a nice beer, but I think it's fallen off. That's my overall kind of view on it. Still very pleasant, nice amount of chocolate brownie notes, but yeah, apart from that, amazing to try a beer from this brewery as I'm here in the UK. So big thanks to Harry over at Blue Nose Beer Reviews for posting me this beer out 6 months ago. I didn't think I'd be actually reviewing this beer. I thought I'd be sharing it, but the way things are, you got to do it, ain't you? Anyway, waffle over. Thanks for watching this long review, and if you got this far, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next review. Keep safe. Cheers.